Chapter 7 The Village Elders. The next morning, Rose awoke to the smell of warm bread and the soft clucking of chickens outside the window. She blinked against the morning light, feeling both comforted and displaced. Her body was warm under the quilt. Her head rested on something soft and yielding, but the comfort was strange, unfamiliar, like wearing someone else's clothes. She sat up slowly, touching the bandage on her forehead. The ache there was dull now, just a shadow of pain. Her mind still felt like a blank slate, but something had shifted. The panic had eased, not managed, but dulled by the steadiness of this place. In the kitchen, Richard stood at the stove, flipping eggs in a cast iron pan. A plate of bread sat on the table, steam rising faintly from it. He looked tired, his eyes shadowed by worry, but his smile when he saw her was genuine. "You slept through the whole night this time," he said, placing a fresh egg beside the bread. "You're looking better." "Thank you," she replied. She slid awkwardly into the chair, still marveling at how chairs worked, their balance, their shape, the way they gently creaked. She tried not to stare at the salt shaker beside her plate. She had watched Marie use it yesterday, but the logic of it still fascinated her. "I feel steadier," she said. They ate in quiet, though Rose kept glancing around the room, drawn to the objects surrounding her. The kettle on the stove, the rustle of curtains in the breeze, the warm scent of wood and morning. She reached for her cup too quickly and nearly spilled her drink, her hands stiff and unsure. Richard noticed, but said nothing, only offered a small smile that made her feel less embarrassed. After a time, he cleared his throat. "There's a council of elders in the village," he said. "Old families. People who've lived here since the village was founded. If anyone might know who you are or where you came from, it'd be them." Rose paused, her fork frozen midair. "Do you think they'll recognize me?" He shrugged. "Maybe, maybe not, but it's worth a try. We need to do something. You can't stay hidden here forever." His words weren't unkind, but they settled over her like a heavy cloak. She nodded slowly. "When do we go?" "After breakfast." Later that morning, the village was alive with sound and movement. Rose kept close to Richard as they walked the narrow streets, eyes wide with wonder and tension. She was struck by the smell of sweet pastries and hay, by the press of voices and footsteps. Her eyes caught on everything, the fluttering of laundry lines, the clatter of a hammer, the rich scent of something frying in a pan. Children ran past her, laughing, and she flinched before reminding herself they were only playing. Even so, her muscles stayed tight, ready. The village hall was a cool stone building wrapped in ivy. Inside, the dim light seemed to quiet the world. 3 elders sat behind a long wooden table, their expressions ranging from curious to guarded. Richard bowed his head. "Elder Miriam, Elder Rook, Elder Dane. This is the girl I told you about. We call her Rose for now." Rose stood beside him, fighting the urge to shrink back. "Rose," Miriam said, her voice crisp. Her eyes were sharp and searching, like they could peel away layers. "And what is it you remember, girl?" Rose hesitated. "Nothing," she said. "Only running. Fear. Trees." Elder Rook leaned forward. "No markings? No names stitched into your clothes?" "She was found near Cartwright's hedge," Richard added. "Looked like she'd been through a storm. There was a kind of wildness to her, like she'd been running from something terrible." Dane's voice was dry and brittle. "And yet she bears no signs of beast or man. No blood. No wounds. No tracks." Miriam steepled her fingers. "People disappear into the woods, come back different, broken, but you seem whole." Rose's voice was barely audible. "I don't feel whole." There was a silence, then thoughtful, heavy. "You said you were running," Rook said. "Could it be a memory? A dream? A warning?" Richard stepped protectively closer. "Whatever it was, she's safe now." "That remains to be seen," Dane said. Miriam cut him a look. "Enough." She turned back to Rose, her gaze less piercing now. We don't mean to frighten you, Rose, but there's unrest in the woods. Shadows, disappearances, strange lights. You're arriving with no past, it matters. I understand, Rose whispered. I want to know who I am, too. We'll send word to nearby villages, Miriam said. Stay with Richard for now. You're under his care. And if you remember anything, even a detail, you come to us. I will. Outside, the sky agreed, clouds gathering low. They think I'm dangerous, Rose said quietly. Richard shook his head. They think you're unknown. That's what frightens them, but you're not dangerous. I've seen danger. You're not it. She looked up at him. Why are you being so kind to me? He hesitated, then said, because I've been alone too. And when I found you, lying there, it felt like I wasn't for the first time in a long time. They walked past blooming lilacs. A child rolled a cartwheel across a patch of cobblestone and grinned at her. Rose stared after him, mesmerized. She tried to picture herself ever being that light, that joyful. She couldn't, but something inside her longed to try. Back at the farm, Richard helped her down from the wagon. Her skirt caught slightly on the step, and she laughed at herself, a small, startled sound. He grinned. You're getting the hang of it, she blushed. Sort of. He handed her the basket of herbs Marie had sent. Rose held it carefully, like it might break. Still tired, he asked. A little, she admitted. But better. There's work tomorrow. If you're staying, I'll put you to it. I'd like that, she said. And this time, her smile was more than just polite, it was real.